welcome to the Stealthy Crafter. I'm Jessica, and today we are doing a Wip Chat. If you're new here and you don't know what Wip stands for, it stands for Work in Progress. And what normally happens during a Wip Chat is that you can bring out your own whips if you want. You can also do chores, drive, or sit on the couch while you listen to me ramble about what's been going on in my week. So with that being said, I'm going to get started. Still working on this, which is, goodness, where the fun never ends. Sometimes I feel like I'm never going to be done with it, but at the same time, it makes sense because I only do this during Whip and Chats and time lapses, so I don't get to be upstairs very often for it. So it makes sense. How are you guys doing today? My Whip and Chat's a little bit later, and the reason for that is because I was on vacation. Well, kind of like a weekend vacation, and by the time I got home yesterday, it wasn't too late to do a Whip and Chat, but I was kind of exhausted, to be honest. And it is now almost evening the next day, and I still feel like I need time to recoup. I need a vacation for my vacation. But yeah, my husband had planned a little surprise getaway for the entire family. We got to go to Gatlinburg in Tennessee because everyone's been kind of keep talking to my husband about like how great it is to go there, about the cabins that that's in the area, and all the things to do and everything. And so like my husband wasn't really for it until his boss mentioned it, and he's like, okay, I'll just it was kind of like a spur of a moment kind of thing. He looked some areas up to see if if there was anything that we could afford, and found a place, and he told me about it earlier this week, and I had to get started. Well, not this week, but last week. I think like right after my Whip and Chat, so I had to get ready and start packing. That was a scramble. I didn't pack until Thursday. Normally I try and pack some stuff, but I didn't pack until Thursday. And I'm a little stressed from that. But yeah, so yeah, it's been a lot of trying to do that, and then I've got a little stressed because I wanted to announce the winner from last week, and was trying to figure out all of that. I went to try to do the YouTube comment picker, and I noticed that I have to pay premium for that, and I was like, I don't know if how often I'm going to be doing these things just right now. Maybe not right now. So I did put the names in a random name generator though, and I'll do a screen recording of that later on. But anyway, so yeah, this past week was mostly uneventful. I did not do any summer homework with the kids. Definitely need to get back on track this week for that. But yeah, it's just, a lot of that stuff. I got to do 2 days of WoW things. I got into do WoW, like I got into raid on Tuesday, and then I got into do the Mythic Plus on Wednesday, and then we actually, thank goodness, we canceled Thursday. Not that, not that I wasn't going to be doing it, because I don't do the Mythic parts of the raid anymore, but it gave me a little bit of a chance to kind of just listen to my friend stream while I did my own packing and getting ready. And then I probably should have gone to bed early that night, but I didn't. So yeah, that was fun. I did not go to bed until way later than I should. I tried. I really did try. I did not succeed. But yeah, we made the announcement to the kids where we were going, and oh my god, they were excited. And then my husband kept telling them that the place had a hot tub, so that was all that they wanted to do. Because first it was like, is there a pool? Well, there's no pool, but there's a hot tub. And so after that, I was just like, can we go in a hot tub? Can we go in a hot tub? So yeah, it was that funny. And then they groaned when we told them that we had to wake up early on Friday. Oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to wake up early either, but we're leaving early. Oh no, they did not like that at all. Um, but yeah, on Thursday, I had to get everyone packed after the announcement was made. And it's kind of like herding cats, honestly, getting the kids ready for getting ready to pack. And I felt like this was a flashback to when I was getting them ready for water day, because it was just the same thing on repeat all day long. And it didn't help that Nicole, she was with her friend at the time when I was doing laundry and everything, trying to get ready to go. I even like washed my bed sheets so that way I had nice clean bed sheets when I got back. I was trying to be prepared. I really am glad I got the bed sheets washed, because oh my gosh, as much as I griped about that bed, I was like, I love you, bed, when I came back. Now I hate it again. But at the time when I came back yesterday, I was like, I love you, bed. I'm sorry I smack talked you. And now today's like, you suck, bed. Why you hurt me like this? But yeah, but my goodness, the kids, like Michael and Jana especially, was just like, where I was telling them, okay, I need you to get me, it was like three pairs of shorts, right? 3 t-shirts, 3 of your undies, 3 pairs of socks, and then a pair of your sleeping pajamas. And every single time they would come back, because I was helping them fold their clothes to pack into their suitcase or their backpack, and they would come back and go, how many of what again? I'm like, oh my goodness. 3. How hard is it? Just like, get 3 of everything at this point. How many? And then like with Michael, it's like, I don't know why, it's just he always tries to pack jeans. And I'm like, Michael, it's going to be hot. Pack your shorts. And it's like, but we're traveling tomorrow. I don't have to wear shorts. I'm like, pack your shorts. It's just like, but he didn't. He wore jeans on Friday when we left. I'm like, okay, whatever at this point. Come on, drill. Let's get out. There we go. But then like when I tried to get them to do their entertainment stuff, oh my goodness. It was ridiculous, because it's like, all right, let's pack entertainment. So I got like the my goodness. Okay, we're gonna switch to a different drill. When I got them to pack their entertainment, it's like, okay, what you guys gotta do is you're gonna have to, pack your Switch, or not Switch, because we packed a Switch. I was like, okay, what you guys are gonna have to do is you're gonna have to pack your tablets, get like a book or something of some sort to keep you occupied while we're on the trip, so that way you're not bored. Although we already knew what was going to happen. We're going to get the on board like halfway through. We were already expecting it. But it was just like, they packed the stuff, but then they put it into their backpacks and stuff like that, so it's not ready to go into the car. And then we're like, where's your stuff that entertains you? In our bags. That's not where you need it. You need it in the car. Have it out. We just wanted you to make sure it's all ready to go. Oh man. And then I got in guff. Cause I used to live. I grew up in West Virginia, so I was used to mountain areas and stuff like that. And I told them, I'm like, hey guys, maybe you guys should pack a jacket just in case, okay? Just in case it gets a little chilly at night. And they're like, it's going to get cold up there? I'm like, no, but there's a chance that you might feel a little bit chilly, especially at night. And then it was just like a whole argument, especially from my oldest, because as you guys know, my oldest, Nicole, she knows everything. And how dare you try and correct her on stuff. Sorry, I put like new glue in this because I've been gone for a while, and I think I like had this stuff in for like 2 weeks, so I was like, I think it's time for a change since it wasn't picking anything, but now it's too sticky, so it doesn't want to let go. But yeah, and then it was just like, well, it's not going to be that cold. It's going to be about the same amount of degrees as it is down here. I'm like, yes, but you'll find that the humidity is kind of different. Plus, we're going to be higher up. And also, it's not going to feel the same. So you might feel a little bit colder. It's, it is it is talking to a brick wall whenever I'm trying to do this. But we got everyone packed at least a one long sleeve shirt / jacket, something. So we were able to do that, even though I had a bunch of griping. And thank goodness we did, because it did get a little cold. I was right. Surprising about that. I was right, especially when, the sun set and, got a little bit cold. But yeah, it was just like when we woke up, it took forever for us to get ready. We had plans to leave at 10 o'clock. We didn't leave until it was like closer to 11:30, which wasn't a big deal. Once we found out that the trip was only supposed to be like 3.5 hours instead, we're like, okay, it's not too bad. And check-in was supposed to be like at 4 o'clock, so we're like, okay, it's not too bad. We can do this. But yeah, what we did was like right before we left, we had everyone eat a big breakfast, except me and my husband didn't. But we made sure the kids did. We didn't even make coffee for ourselves. We were dragging that day. Oh my gosh. But we didn't make any coffee for ourselves, but we made sure the kids were fed, and then we were kind of like doing last minute put things up, because things like my diamond painting, I had kind of packed up. I packed up the moon goddess Princess Yue that I have. I didn't know how much I was going to do. I thought I was going to do very little, but apparently I did a lot more than I thought I was going to do, which, hey, yay. But yeah, it was just like things like that, and I was like, I had like stuff like battery packs charging and everything, so it was just like a little extra stuff that kind of took a bit more extra time. My husband wanted to take a shower before we left, so we couldn't really pack all the bath stuff until after that, so it was just like, okay, just little extra things like here and there. So, but yeah, we finally got on the road and was like able to get started, and we were already bracing ourselves for the how long is it gonna be? Are we there yet? That kind of stuff. And we were already we made jokes. My husband and I made jokes about our son. I know this is gonna sound a little mean, but we were making bets about how long was it going to be until we have to stop for Mr. Old Man Bladder, or as my husband sometimes goes, OMB, for him, because Michael likes to say he needs to go use the restroom almost every hour, and it's not, there's nothing wrong with him. It's just that he, like, in the moment he feels the tiniest bit that he has to go. It's just like he doesn't want to learn how to hold it. It's like, dude, I know that, holding it isn't good for you, but there's times where you're gonna have to hold it. And he complains so much about the fact that if we have to make him hold it an extra 5 minutes to come all the way home, because we're not like stopping at a McDonald's or something, like when we're literally like 3 minutes away from home. But we were kind of joking around about how often we were going to stop and how much that was going to tack onto the trip. And surprisingly, we did pretty well, to be honest. We did stop 1 hour in because my husband and I were like, we're just starving. We're wanting some sort of caffeine, and we were thinking we were gonna wait it out, but we had to get something, because we were both like already at our Only an hour in. The kids were actually really well behaved on the way there. It was the way back that was not the fun part. Excuse me. Um, but but yeah, it was just like we decided to stop at a Burger King, which I rolled my eyes at. And on the way there, before we stopped at the Burger King, we passed a water tower that was like basically like a giant peach, and it got the kids started singing peaches, 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 and I was like, oh no, this started them to do that. And of course, my son is obsessed with butts, so immediately goes peach butt, and all of them forgot to take a picture of the peach butt, so we had to promise that we would take pictures of the peach butt on the way back. I'm just like, it's just a water tower, that's just a peach. Really? He goes, you can see the butt crack. I'm like, oh good lord, this kid is killing me. But yeah, we had to tell him no talk about butts when we got to the Burger King, because I really don't want him yelling this out to other people. I was just like, please kid, no, let's not. He survived, but we got there, and of course old man bladder starts. And he goes, I need to go use the restroom, and we're looking at him and we're like, you're gonna have to hold it until after we're done eating. Because my husband's like, we're not going to have him use the restroom and then eat, and then like right as we're strapping in with him going, I need to go, he goes, after we're done you can go, you can hold it. And oh my god, he looked at us like we were the worst people in the world. But he did well. I gave him his toy to keep him occupied, like after because his oldest sister, she eats quickly, so she was done in 5 minutes tops. She was done. Jane is the slowest eater, followed by me. I'm like the second slowest eater, honestly, but I ate a little bit faster this time around. And Michael was like, distracted and just talking, and we're like, dude, eat your food, eat your food. But we were also telling them, don't gulp down their sodas, take it easy. And surprisingly, he did not drink his soda quickly. But they were mad before we left, because we had everyone go use the restrooms beforehand. And he was really mad at us because we didn't let them take their sodas with them to the trip. We're like, nah, we know you guys. You'll drink that up, and then within 40 minutes you're gonna be yelling, I need to go. You guys can drink water in the car. There wasn't like they didn't have like a lot of soda left. It was just like a third left, but still they were like, how dare you parents, you're so awful. Yeah, we're awful. You guys got a Happy Meal type toy, and we're the mean ones. Whatever. And of course it was like those noisemaker toys, so they're like shaking it and it's like making those squeaky noises like for a dog. And there was times where we're like, kids, you gotta be quiet for just a minute while the GPS is saying stuff, because we got to hear what it's saying. And they did not seem to grasp that. The whole way there and the whole way back. We didn't get lost, but we did get turned around a couple of times. Like getting to the house, but and I found the perfect title for the start of this video on the way there. Because it was so funny. Because okay, so Nicole's too young to remember this, but I used to travel up to West Virginia and back when she was younger, so mountains and all that fun stuff, right? And the twins never really see mountains at all. I mean, like, the closest they've seen is, like, Kings Mountain in here, but not, like, truly mountains. Like, stuff, like, rolling hills and fog rolling in, all that kind of stuff, right? They've never really experienced that. And they were asking us, when are we going to see mountains? I'm like, well, soon. We'll see them pretty soon. And you'll definitely see them once we get to the cabin, because my husband found a cabin that was, it wasn't like the best deal, but it was a pretty good deal to stay in for 3 nights. But but yeah, it was just like we went through South Carolina, then we got through North Carolina, and there's some mountains in North Carolina, and then we get to Tennessee. But it was in North Carolina, like when we got, I, I don't remember exactly where. I think it was like near Asheville. Excuse me. And my husband kept saying I was saying Nashville. I'm like, no, I'm saying Asheville. And he goes, well, it sounds like you're saying Nash. And I'm like, well, get your ears checked. um, but but then I went, well, fine. I'm gonna just call it Hashville instead. And then it just got us started. But anyway, we were getting closer to Asheville, and Michael pops up with, are there mountains around? And I'm just looking at these rolling hills, and I'm just like, Michael, look ahead of you and open your eyes. Okay? What's that in front of us? Because they're like literally right in front of us, mountain range. He goes, oh, a mountain. I'm like, uh-huh. He goes, mountains. I'm like, yep, that's a mountain. It cracked me up. I'm sorry, guys. It cracked me up so much. Because it's just like, really, kid? What were you doing? Were you just staring at the book instead? So yeah, we got in that. And it doesn't stop there, guys. It doesn't stop there. Further in, we get caught up on I-40 traffic. The worst, right? Traffic everywhere is the worst, honestly. And we're just kind of stick there. We got like we were stopped for not very long. It wasn't like the worst thing in the world. It was just a few minutes. And my husband and I was just kind of griping about traffic, in general, like how just everyone gripes about traffic, right? And Michael goes, is there traffic? And Chris and I looked at each other, and I just couldn't help myself but repeat the same thing I did with the mountain thing. I'm like, Michael, open your eyes and look in front of you. What? I'm like, what's... And then my husband pipes up. He goes, what's in front of us? And Michael's like, cars? And my husband's like, yes. And how many cars? A lot. He goes, that means that there's traffic. Oh. Just like, my kid is so smart, but at the same time, it's just like, you don't really have common sense, do you, kid? It was just so funny. I was just like, I'm really, it was hilarious. I'm like, really, kid, you don't notice these mountains? You don't notice the traffic? Are you in your own little world that much? I mean, it's a good thing, because, like I said, on the way there, they weren't bickering, which is amazing considering Nicole and Michael were sitting in the second row while Jana was in the back. And usually Michael and Nicole are like at each other's throats all the time. So I was really amazed that there was little to no bickering from them on the way there. But yeah, once we got closer to our area, old man Bladder starts striking in, and he's like, I have to go. And my husband's like, we're literally 5 minutes away from the place. Can you please hold it? No! And we're like, dude, we can't stop anywhere. There is nowhere to stop. You're gonna have to wait. Oh, before I continue on, like the kids really was amazed. Actually, I'll finish up. So yeah, Michael, he was like, he was really adamant that we had to stop. We didn't stop, by the way. But we got to the place, but it took a bit because there was like a couple of sharp turns that we had to do, like really, like it was almost like a 180 to get up a hill. My husband's like, oh gosh. But we got there, and my husband unlocked the door to the place, and Michael zoomed in, and my husband helped him find a bathroom real quick. But we're like, good job on holding it, dude. Because I don't think we would have been great about trying to find a place to go for him. But yeah, it's so funny because he didn't have to go as much throughout the rest of the weekend. It's just only like when we were traveling and stuff like that. It's just like, oh my goodness. um, but anyway, I'm backing up a bit. But backing up a little bit. So, it was kind of fun to see my kids' amazement, and I really do miss living in the mountains and seeing the kids' faces as they're just wowed by all of this, especially when we went through a couple of overlooks and through a tunnel as well, and just I'm going, wow, being able to see like all of this, and just like I feel like I kind of I wouldn't say, made them miss out on a part of their life, because I made the choice to move down here, but it's like, I don't know, it just felt like they could have enjoyed this kind of scenery, but at the same time, when you're growing up in it, you kind of take it for granted, so I don't know, maybe it's a good thing that that they didn't grow up like that, I guess, I don't know, I mean, like, my husband and I keep talking about if we were going to move, where would we move? And two things is always like beach or mountains. That's what we've been thinking about. It's either those two places. Both are can be equally expensive. Mountains can be less so, but in terms of gas and groceries, the cost kind of goes up with that because it takes it costs more to get goods and services delivered into the mountain ranges and stuff like that. If I remember correctly, prices can go really expensive at times. but yeah, seeing their looks on their faces was just like, yeah, we chose a good place for them to do this. And I kept talking to him, like, maybe we should go to Asheville, during the fall, so that they can see the changing of the leaves, like what everyone does around here. They usually travel, like, for a weekend or so, like that. It must have been like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm like, and the kids were like, what's so great about that? I'm like, well, when I grew up, I got to see leaves change, and it's really pretty seeing how the entire mountain would be like just a array of colors of red and yellow and orange and green. And I'm like, and I got to experience that every fall for, goodness, I don't know how many years, since 19 years. Had to think about it. Although there was a couple of years where I was not living in West Virginia when my dad was in the Army, so take a couple of those years off. But yeah, I was like, oh, I think they would like it. I mean, I always did enjoy that part of the year as well. But, I liked fall. I like Halloween. I liked spooky weather. So that was just kind of my thing. It's kind of different here because fall does happen. It's just, it's different. It really is different. It doesn't last as long. And, it's completely, they don't get to see the colors change like how you would, if you lived in the mountains. So I don't know, maybe we'll do that for the fall. But yeah, we got to the place. Michael got to use his restroom. My husband gotten us, started unpacking, not packing. My husband started unpacking while I directed things to everywhere. The kids were kind of flabbergasted because when we go in, it's the top floor, and then you go down the stairs to another thing where it's still outside but kind of like inside too. But they were kind of like, they were kind of confused because it's just like, is this the first floor? Is this the second floor? I'm like, well, this is considered the basement in a way. And the top floor is it's the first floor. They kept saying it was the second floor. So I was like, I gave up on correcting them on that. But downstairs was where all their rooms were like located at. And they were really okay. While she tapes peeling off down here, I'm gonna take this tape and keep it down. Do you guys do that with with the really cheap washi tape that you get from from other kits, that you just kind of tape things down if they start peeling off? Because I do. I'm like, I could just use the tape instead, but it's just like, nah. I just want to use the pretty tape. But yeah, the kids were really ecstatic to find out that they got to have the downstairs literally to themselves. But we were like, no one's allowed to go outside unless we're there with them. So they weren't as happy about that. But you know what? They had to deal. But yeah. But Michael and Jana, they got to share a room because there was bunk beds, and we found out there was actually a it was more than a bunk bed. It was like a trundle bed with it as well. So and they were all full size beds, so huge beds for them. And they all the bedrooms had their own bathroom. So their own showers and stuff like that. It was funny because the kids' bathroom was a walk-in shower, but then the queen size bedroom downstairs was like a jacuzzi type tub setting, and then the shower upstairs, because there was a bedroom for the upstairs which had a king size bed that had a walk-in shower too. But yeah, my husband unpacked everything, and I started getting the kids things downstairs, got our stuff upstairs, because the bed was in our bedroom was like right by the front door, so it was easy to get my stuff in and out. And then my husband turned around and then left to go to the store to pick up things while we were getting settled in. So one of the things that was downstairs, apparently all the cabins here in there, well, when I say here, there have like arcade stuff. This one, this one was like there was like a little bit of a bust. I don't know if it's just because the listing was brand new, so and the house said it was built this year, but there was like some weird stuff, like the arcade wasn't it was kind of hard to navigate because it was like one of those games. I don't know. They said there was like 20,000 games in it, but none of them were working very well. And it was just like, but the kids didn't care. They were having a blast. There was the bedroom that was definitely meant for kids had like a play area, little play tent, and dolls and things like that. So so Michael and Jana got to spend most of their time in there while they waited for my husband to get back. And there was like a foosball table as well, and they were just they were really ecstatic. And of course, my oldest, like after the thrall of the arcade things and everything went, there's a TV in my room. Can I watch TV? And immediately holds herself up in her bedroom. I'm like, really, kid. But yeah, that's what happened. And during all this, I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go and diamond paint. I set up as much as I could, and I'm like, I'm going to diamond paint. I know that it's close to dinner time, but I don't have any groceries. Hubby says that he got dinner covered. I'm diamond painting. So I set up on the table, and I started doing that. But I did do a little bit of a walkthrough as I was looking around, especially since my bladder started saying, oh, you got to go too. I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's check out these bathrooms, right? So I go to my bathroom and I investigate, and the water pressure is horrible. My husband thinks it's like well water or something like that. He could be right. Um, but I open the shower curtain and there's a window with no curtains. I mean, like, yeah, it's a short thing, and like my head's popping out. Like you can definitely see my head if you're there, but the window is facing the road, and the road goes up and curves up. So it's kind of my husband took a picture, and if you zoomed in on the picture, you can see that there is another house in a balcony. There's a balcony, and you can look straight in, like especially if the lights aren't on, you could look in and see someone showering, and I'm just like, um that ain't good. There needs to be curtains on this thing. So my husband and I immediately was like, when I pointed that out to him, I was like, yeah, we're not showering at night. We're gonna shower in the morning with no lights on, so that way no one can see. Cause I ain't showing anything. No one wants to see it either. And then what's worse was I go downstairs to investigate if the bathrooms were the same. Luckily, the kids had no window, but Nicole's room is not exactly the same. But if you're sitting down to use the toilet, there's a window, and there's another house where you could look straight, like from that angle, look straight down and see someone doing their business. And I'm just like, they need to put curtains here. I know this is a brand new house, but that's something that they should have thought of. So it was just like, I mean, like overall, it was a lovely house. I mean, like it was a lovely place, but there were some things that needed to get fixed. to to be sure, we noticed that one of the windows had a crack. I think we're like apparently like the third people to stay at this place, and I'm just like, dang, this is already broken. You know, like that's not good. And the foosball table was like really wobbly. And then like one of the sinks that we had, it felt like a lot of the stuff was kind of put together really quickly. It probably was. So I was a little nervous. I was just a little nervous. um, but but yeah, we I was just like, my main thing was that bathroom was like, oh no, 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 we can't do that. I cannot take a shower there. I am not about exposing myself. um but yeah, my husband got back. I told him all about that, and he's like, "Ooh, that ain't good at all." I'm like, "No, that ain't good at all." But he got lunch, not lunch, he got dinner ready for everyone. We did like little simple like BLTs. While that was going, I realized I made a grave error because I only packed one set of uh, body wash supplies and shampoo for the kids, and there's two bathrooms, so I was like, I'm gonna have to have the kids just share a bathroom. And then after discovering the whole window situation in Nicole's room, I'm like, that's probably a good thing. They can all just share the one bathroom in the kid and where the bunk beds are. And Nicole can chill. I know she was excited to have her own bathroom, but nah, not after that. um, and I'm going to stop here for a moment. Kind of put in. Basically, I'm going to pull up my phone, get a screen recording. I'll probably stop here and announce the winner of last week's giveaway for the $25 Etsy gift card. So I'll stop here and pull that up. So congratulations to whoever won. If you can, please send me an email. I have my email list down below, and I look forward to sending that gift card out to you. Um, Anyway, I've noticed that my battery's getting low, so I probably should wrap this up pretty quickly, because it is. It's a bit of a long talk. I realize, um, but but um, uh, so we were deciding what to do while we're in Gatlinburg, and we decided that we were gonna go do. We were like going to do Ripley's Believe It or Not in the aquarium. It was like our main plan, and we didn't wake up early. The next day, we slept in because we were so tired from the night before, and my back hurt. Their beds, their beds remind me of the beds that of the vacation we took with my in-laws, when because they have a place in Florida, and it really is exactly the same kind of beds to me because they're on wheels and everything. But they were hard as rocks, guys. Nicole says she loved it, but they were so hard and miserable. I did not sleep a wink at all. Like it hurt so much, and I think I put this in the wrong spot. I did put it in the wrong spot. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, gonna have to pull these all out. Okay. I definitely did. Anyway, so as I pull these off while I talk to you, um, we did not get ready to go until like almost near noon. So we were like, we're not going to do anything crazy. If we do 2 attractions, that's great. If not, because our plan was going to be basically go into downtown, get an attraction done, come back, eat lunch, and then go to the next one, right? And you know what? We really honestly should have thought about it. But no one really told us this. And we didn't think about it, but looking back, we should have probably thought about it. And we weren't really, prepared. We were just wanting to, my husband just, had everyone rave about this place. So, and talked about how great the food was, how great, everything, downtown was, what was, and we're like, okay, we'll try it out, that kind of thing. Guys, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure the fact was we got there in during summer, and it was Father's Day weekend, and and everything like that, but we were, it was so packed, and we found out that it was $20 parking everywhere. We were just so, like, I wouldn't say disgusted, but we were just like, we didn't feel like it was worth, going downtown for just it was, we would have to make a whole trip of it, and plan a whole day of downtown stuff for attractions and everything if we wanted to make it worth it. I found out the next day that there's like a trolley system and free parking, but I have to go on the outskirts of the city, and all that stuff, and it was just like, holy cow. It was crazy, and it was so, my husband and I have like anxiety at times, and my anxiety pipe really goes up when there's a lot of people, and there were so many people. It was so crowded. I was just amazed. It was just we couldn't even move half the time get in downtown. But we got to where Ripley's Believe It or Not was, and we tried to find parking. And the park, even if we could park, everything was full. So it didn't even matter if we could find a parking spot. Everything was full. We went to the aquarium. Parking was full, and I found out you had to pay at the aquarium too. So my husband kept going and just driving and driving. And the kids are getting mad because, we promised them a fun outing. We promised them that we were going to do something great. And they were like, they were disappointed. And they were really grumpy. And at this point, where I'm just like, do we want to just go home, regroup, and get some lunch and figure out what we want to do? And my husband's like, great idea, right? So what happened was we went past the aquarium and started just traveling up in the into the up on a mountainside. Like, it was tight turns everywhere, curves and stuff like that, as we're like, discussing what to do until I'm like looking at the GPS, and We got some really cool sights. Like we were like up near where the clouds were and everything. And we were pointing that out to the kids, and where you can see down into the city. It was a really amazing sight, and I was like, had Nicole, griping about it. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was getting defensive because of the way she was acting, but my husband's like, she's just being disappointed, and I'm like, I understand, but it sounds like she's blaming us, and she wasn't, but it felt like it, that kind of stuff. But we finally got back down and back into downtown where it was crazy. And I tried to find the silver lining in the whole thing, because I was like, look, we got to see a really cool, amazing sight. We got to see like downtown, like up in the like so high up in the air. We didn't, you don't normally get to do that. Wasn't that amazing? And this thing happened, and I mean, like, it can be so aggravating, but I'm so glad it happened, because it perked up everyone's spirits in the car. As we're trying to get back to our cabin, we're downtown, and like I said, it's packed everywhere. All of a sudden, we were in a standstill, and we're like, "What's going on?" And like 2 cars ahead of us, and it's hilarious. 2 cars ahead of us, we just see these wild geese, blocking the road. There was like 2 little packs, and there's like 1 pack with like three little ones with them, and then another pack that's just like further behind, and they're just waddling on the road, and they're swerving back and forth, so it's both lanes not able to move, and it made the kids laugh so hard. We thought it was hilarious. I mean, like, yeah, we were stuck in traffic, but it was humorous. The kids enjoyed themselves immensely. And they laughed their heads off. It was great. I was like, what? And then I was like, look, guys, I'm like, we would never seen this if we would gotten, into the place. I'm like, and didn't decide to come right back into town. And, I'm like, isn't that awesome? We got to see something hilarious. Like I said, I was trying to find the silver lining and stuff. And I took a couple pictures for the kids, and we got a bit of more of a silver lining, and at the same time, I'm like, oh, good Lord. So the amount of times I have seen a bear have been very few on one hand, especially since I've lived in, like I said, I've lived in the mountains, but where I lived, you don't really see bears. It's the bobcats that you have to worry about. I've seen plenty of those. And mountain lions, but bobcats were plenty. I seen them all over, where I lived. But bears, I think, it's been maybe, I think, like 3, and they've all been full grown bears, so it's scary. But in fact, like, I think a few years ago, my dad said that he opened the door, like, this was when my mom still was working at McDonald's before she retired, and it was probably like 3 a.m. in the morning, because she does the biscuits and all that stuff, and the bear was just there in their trash can, because like I said, the bears aren't a big thing where I live, so there's not like bear cages and stuff like that. So it's just in their trash can, and he's like, holy, and goes to get his gun, and to fire a warning shot to kind of scare it off, kind of thing. But my mom made him see sense and say, stay inside. Comes to find out, like, it wanders downtown, and they had to unfortunately put the bear down. But anyway, we prepare lunch, and I said, okay, today was a bummer. How about today's going to be our rest day? Because we were planning at least one day was going to be a rest day. We thought it was going to be Sunday, because that would be Father's Day, and then we'd be, well, at least somewhat rested and go back home, right? But we decided we'll just do that. We'll just make Saturday the rested day instead. And I'm like, how about we just make some sandwiches? We made some grilled cheese, ham and grilled cheese sandwiches, and some grapes, and we'll sit outside, and enjoy ourselves, right? We'll enjoy sceneries, right? And I'm talking to the kids. My husband's like inside cooking. I'm like, I got the kids like sitting and I'm taking their pictures and you know, and this is the embarrassing thing. So I'm talking to my friends. I'm talking to the kids, and then I'm just I'm I'm sitting down and I get news of of um like from the week before, not the week before, but the day before, like um someone helped me out and was Sophie from the Diamond Help Desk. She called out like me and a couple other people for people to check out. So I was like thanking her, and I was about to respond to her because she was saying it's no problem because I was thanking her on Discord, and I was talking to my other friend Mackenzie, and just chit chatting, just messaging, and I go back to talk to Sophie, to say thank you again because she responded to me, and my husband comes out, sits down next to me on the bench, and goes, "What's that?" And I think he's kidding, because the kids are constantly asking, "Are we going to see a bear?" Because at that point, because the kids were like, "I'm so sad, we haven't seen a bear." I'm like, literally, we haven't been here 24 hours. Why you want to see a bear, right? Like I'm just like, no, bears are scary, and I'm just like, it's okay, guys, let's just enjoy outside. We got squirrels around. We're just chilling. We're enjoying ourselves. And my husband goes, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Ha ha, hun, very funny." He goes, "No, I'm not kidding. What's that?" And I look up and I don't see anything. He goes, "I saw something. I saw something furry in those trees over there." And I'm thinking he's still joking around. Until I saw the movement, right? And it's a bear. It's not a big bear. It's a juvenile bear, but it's a bear regardless. And then the kids start freaking out, and I'm like, "Guys, shh, shh." And as I'm like, doing that, my hands are still on the phone, right? My phone, and I accidentally called Sophie, and I'm like, "Oh, shh." Like this. At the same time, I'm like telling the kids to stop, trying to shush them. I'm like, "Would you guys stop it?" Like that. And I'm like, I hang up and I'm like, I don't talk to her right away, like apologizing, because she can see that I call her. And I'm just like, "Guys, stop, right?" I do take a picture of the bear, though. We're on the balcony, so I felt safe enough, but I didn't want the kids to, rile up. And, if you see a baby bear or a juvenile bear, mom bear somewhere else, I was like, "Guys, shh," right? Just enjoy it, shh. And the kids were like, "Bear, oh my God, bear," And I'm just like, okay, I took a couple pictures and I'm like, "There was a bear." And then I apologized to her and going, "I'm so sorry for calling you." I was freaking out. I was so embarrassed. My face was bright red. I was just like, oh my God. I can't believe I just, basically butt dialed the thumb dial. uh, but, but yeah, I was like, okay. All right, I had enough of it of wildlife. Can we go home? Guys, I know I lived in the mountains, but I am not suited for it anymore. Although there are bear sightings around here, though the kids haven't seen it, but there have been coyotes and stuff like that. In fact, one day my husband heard a noise in our backyard, like late at night, and he flipped on the floodlights that we had, and there was a coyote right in our backyard, just, and my husband turned off the lights and went, "Okay then." But yeah, I was just like, after that, I'm just like, we were watching this bear just like wander around to apparently our neighbor's cabin, and like just looking for food. I'm like, "Goodness gracious." And I'm just like, if it comes closer over here, we're going inside. I know we're on basically the second floor, so it can't get us, but bears can climb. I'm like, I'm not taking chances. But we kept an eye on the bear, and it started going down the mountainside. I'm like, and of course, this is like this road, like, people were constantly going up and down the road all the time. So it was just like, I'm like, I wonder where it's going. I wonder. Yeah, it was just that was an experience. And it's just like, and the kids, they were all like, we're really happy that they were able to experience that, and they were like, well, it was, they were happy about that whole time. I'm like, well, we got to experience some wildlife. Wouldn't have been able to do that. Well, unless we went to the aquarium, of course. But then we decided to pack it up inside. Goodness. But yeah, we went inside, washed up, and had the kids, get ready for jacuzzi time, or not jacuzzi time, hot tub time. I let them have their hot tub, and they got to, spend the night playing a bit, and they had a blast. So we did well. And then the next day, I realized on Father's Day, I had the kids do Father's Day gifts, and I left them at home, guys. I did not pack them at all. I was so embarrassed. I forgot about my husband's Father's Day gift. I did give him one that I gave him a Father's Day gift early, but earlier in the week, when he was at his doctor's appointment, I was holding down the fort, and I decided to, let's do the Father's Day gifts and everything like that. And what I did was Shrinky Dinks, because the kids gave me Shrinky Dinks for Mother's Day from school, and I thought he would like to have something similar, because he was like, oh, those are so cute, and no one does Father's Day gifts at all, like, from the school. The school doesn't do it because there's no, by the time they get out, it's, they don't do it. So I'm like, I want to do the same thing. And I gave them a whole sheet. And it took a couple tries getting this right. But I finally got it. And then I hid them. I told the kids I would hide them so that way he wouldn't find it. And I completely forgot to pack them. And I was like apologizing. I was like, I'm so sorry. They're at home. And he goes, it's okay. It'll be fine. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I still haven't pulled them out. I have to pull them out and give them to him. I'm trying to find number 8 and I can't find it. Maybe I should shut up so I can focus on the number. I'm trying to figure out where it is located. I'm pretty sure. There we go. Found it. But we woke up super early for Father's Day because we were thinking we might do the aquarium until I found out that parking was going to be $20. And I'm like, do we really want to spend $20 parking for just one thing? Because we weren't planning to do a lot of stuff. And my husband's like, no, not really. And I looked around because there were a couple other things I wanted to do in the area. And I found Wonderworks. And I'm like, hey, parking here is free. We don't have to pay for parking at all. And my husband's like, what time do they open? And are they open on Father's Day? I'm like, they open at 9. And yes, they do. He goes, perfect. That's where we're going to go. So we went there and oh my God, guys, we spent not all day. We got there at 9. I don't think we got home until almost 2 o'clock, guys. It was so exhausting. The kids had so much fun. But there was, right near the end, there was a thing that hurt me and my husband's heart so bad. They had these pay telephones, right? Those telephones that you see on every street corner. Heck, there were some in my high school. They called them ancient relics. Ancient artifacts, guys. I'm like, these are ancient artifacts from the 1990s. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm not old. You're hitting me where an artifact? What? Ancient? What? My heart. My husband is like, geez, they hurt. That hurt. That cut deep. I'm like, yeah, it did. That cut real deep. But there was like that we had so much fun except for that part. And then we treated the kids to Dippin' Dots. They had Dippin' Dots in the thing, and we decided why not while we go home, right? So that's what we did. Unfortunately, our son does not know not to be messy and has left a mess in our car, so we got to clean that up. Ugh. um, but there were a couple of rides where the kids couldn't participate. They did do some rock climbing. We got to experience what being in an earthquake is like. And then there was like the last thing of the whole place, which was a 3D motion theater experience. And poor Michael got so scared. And I was like trying to calm him down. And I was holding his hand. But he did good until the very end and waved his glasses so his seat wouldn't, rock and rumble all over the place. But he was like, it was too scary, and the lady chose the dinosaur thing for him, but he was like, too scary. I'm like, it's okay, dude. We got to save the baby dinosaur. It's not too scary. We got to save it, right? But no, he didn't like it at all. So, I don't think we'll be doing any motion rides anytime soon. I think one of their favorite things were, let's see, goodness, what was their favorite thing? They love the bubbles. I know that much for sure. They did there was this dancing thing. We did Twister. There's impression art. I'm like, there was a lot of cool stuff, and it was so funny when we were on the way there. He told me, I don't want to learn anything. It's summer vacation. I don't want to learn stuff, and instead, here he is learning stuff and having a blast. Of course, this is the same kid who loves to learn about anything, and so it's so funny that he doesn't want to learn anything, but here he is. He's still learning stuff. Excuse me. Let's see, what else did happen during that whole trip? My husband and I did mention that we probably want to come back during the off season. I don't know if they have an off season, but we were thinking that if they did, we might want to try it again. Try the whole thing again, but this time we'll be a bit more prepared, especially for parking and stuff, and make a game plan. Because we weren't really thinking about eating in, but it's all the groceries we just ate in the cabin. We just cooked every single day. We didn't have to throw away a lot of food right at the end. Thankfully, we used up as much as we could. So, I think we only had to throw away a couple of slices of cheese, and we unfortunately had to pour out the rest of our creamer. I was a little sad about that. It was only a third left. I drank as much coffee as I could. I took advantage of their complimentary coffee. It wasn't that great. But I took advantage of it. I was like, I need coffee to live, man. I gotta stay awake. I'm trying to find one more thing. But overall, the kids had a great experience. There was a couple of scary things, like I said, with the house. Especially, it wasn't the last day, but it was, the second day. My son got, he got shocked touching a wall. And I was like, that's a little, not good. But my husband says that the people said that they take constructive criticism, and I'm like, I don't want to really, get them mad at us, but curtains would be really great for the place. And not just the bathrooms, like I mentioned, but my husband and I decided that we were going to try and sleep on on the couches that they have there, because they apparently are pull-out couches, but we didn't pull them out, But I'm like, if people are going to actually sleep there, I think that there should be actually curtains for the spaces there, so that way, what was happening was, since the hill that we were on was so busy, the car lights just kept zooming into our into those rooms, so we would be woken up by lights all the time. And I'm like, curtains would be kind of nice, or blinds, you know, something like that. You know, they had like these sheer curtains which weren't really helpful. I'm like some heavier curtains that you could close during the nighttime would be useful. Plus, it would be it would be it like it you know kept you know, especially like light pollution and stuff like that. I felt guilty having the light on because I diamond painted a lot at nighttime. um it was kind of weird being able to have so much free time diamond painting, to be honest. I got an entire row done with my other painting, so I was really surprised. I almost decided to pack something different because I didn't think I was going to have so much time diamond painting, but I did. um, Trying to think. I have only 6% left. Oh, that's not good. I have so much more I really wanted to talk about too, man. I had to shorten as much as I could, but I'm going to have to actually cut it here short. I'll see if I remember to add a little bit more for my next Wip Chat. I don't think I will. I'll see about it. We'll figure it out. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!